Okay, we're back. We're delving into Redundancy Vegas. Redundant Nation.
Redundant Nation, babe. We are. It's back.
Redundistan.
Redundancy. We're deep down in the redundancy.
Yes, we really are.
SEA.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was made redundant. Don't. I had two very successful radio shows, and I was cut so they could pay two of the highest paid broadcasters in the country more money.
Money's got to come from somewhere, Mitch.
It does. I'm just teasing. Like, you live and you learn. Who gives a shit? It's fine.
So you were okay. Just for that, you were a full-time employee of the station.
Correct. So how it works in entertainment, here's for the listeners, entertainment's a tricky one. I'll speak for radio because that's my biz. So a lot of the radio presenters you hear on air in a big show, I'm talking the breakfast shows, Kyle and Jackie O, your Fitzy and Whippers, Jason Lauren in Melbourne, they'd all be contracted, right? So they're paid on contracts for a set amount of time, 2-3 years is standard. Like 2 years is normally minimum, 5 years mega. Like the Kyle and Jackie O deal of 10 years is because that's who they are and they've earned that. And then you get paid a set figure for the contract per year. I, however, started when I was 19. So I was a baby. So I was an employee and I was paid a pittance, paid genuinely nothing. When I got my first show, my first radio show, I was paid $49,000 a year working full time.
It's probably like 10 years ago or 8-ish or whenever it was. It probably was pretty good. Like
8 years ago. Yeah, 7 years. Yes,
not
you're
terrible.
right. Well, not terrible for a 21-year-old living at home, right? Like, and I'm doing radio
it's probably
show.
the equivalent of 85, 90 now.
You think?
Oh, it would be up there. Don't make me ask ChatGPT.
Jeez,
what year was it?
Oh my God.
2018?
18?
No. So we'll just go 2015, which is 10. 9. Did you go to 19?
Yeah, do 2019. I think it was 2019.
Okay, in 2019, if I had, what was it, 50, how much?
48, 49. So do 50 to make it round.
$50,000. How much is it in today's dollars?
I don't think it's going to be that much different.
No, it wasn't. I actually thought in my mind, I was thinking back to like 20 years. At 2025, it's probably like 60 or something. Yeah, 60,000.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so so still a lowish salary, but my point there is I was on a salary, so paying taxes, super, all that stuff. Then I start to grow. My career kind of gets bigger, and I make strides in my career, and I make more money, but I'm still an employee. Fast forward to the end of my career, still an employee, not on a contract. So when my shows, when they go, we need to cut some costs here, and we've got this guy who's been around for 9 years and has increased his salary because he's been working hard and his profile's grown and whatever, and he's negotiated.
And he's a dirty capitalist pig.
Correct, and he loves his designer brands. We're going to make him redundant. So, I got a redundancy of 9 years.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
So how was that emotionally? Given that it was and in media, it plays out pretty fast.
Does play out fast. Found out on Thursday, announced the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
But it leaked to the press the Tuesday night, got out. I don't know how it got out. So we had to make it. We were trying to save time and work out what we were going to do and how I was going to address it, but it came out really quickly.
Do you find when you leak stuff, it's a benefit to you? That's a comment.
Very funny. I was very deeply distressed in that time, losing both my two shows. So there was no leaking happening. I wish I was that smart. I actually wish I made so many different choices when it happened, but like you said, it happened so quickly. So that was a shame that it got out because I would have loved to have said it my way, but that's a different story for another day. So living off a redundancy now, but obviously working and making income. So it's all worked out well. It's fine.
Do you think radio is dead-ish or dying-ish?
No, I don't think it's dead. She's wounded. She's not well, but listenership is still there. The radio companies love to claim that their audiences are growing. I think a smart radio company invests in podcasts and a smart radio company invests in shows. The future of radio will be shows, not music. The future of radio is not music. It never will be. A radio station, to stay relevant, has brilliant shows. Really brilliant shows. I mean, look at the success of podcasts. The only reason podcasting is successful is because, like you said, Dr. Dr. Enkel, that's his third mention today.
Oh, yeah.
It's a niche. You listen to you because you've got an interest in investing and money and handsome men with no hair, you know? If you listen to, you want to have a good laugh, you go listen to Tony and Ryan. And maybe their subculture of comedy is what gets you laughing, so you listen to them. You know what I mean? There's a podcast for everyone. Radio,
Tony, come on the podcast. I've asked her.
Let me text Tony. I can text Tony.
Just text her. Say you're talking right now to Glen James on the podcast.
She'll be like, she actually just replied saying who?
Exactly.
No.
But the thing is, when you get...
She worked on my first radio show. She was my audio producer on my first radio show.
She's still in Melbourne, isn't she?
Yeah. Always has been.
The problem is, the busier you get and the more popular you get, the less time you have.
Yep, that's hard.
And, yeah, but it'd be cool to chat with her. So
my point is, radio's wounded, but focus on shows and things will be okay.
What do you think your biggest financial goal is at the moment? And I'll say once that you get your regular income back on track. Because basically what's happened, you're cruising along, missile has dropped, blown you up. You've come out of it. All right, I'm not dizzy now. I do have some savings and I can kind of get through. Once we get back on track, once the income is back to normal, what's your financial goal, or what was your financial goal the day before that the redundancy came in?
Saving to buy a house.
Yeah.
So I have a deposit for a house sitting there, and I had pre-approval for a house. I got pre-approval the month before.
Gosh.
So thank God I didn't act, but I was going to open houses and auctions to watch and learn, and that kind of was pulled from beneath me, which is fine. All is good. So it'll be to buy property because I don't own property currently. I've got other investments, but I don't have property, and I want property. So
you got to have property.
Position.
Huh? You got to have property. It's Australia, mate.
Right, well, exactly right. I know. I'm thinking of opening. Tell me if this is cool.
Yeah.
A ankle surgery in. What do you think?
I think, when we talk about comedy and we call this like recalling a joke, it can run its course. Yeah,
and I think 4 mentions is pretty good. But then in comedy, it actually becomes absurd the more you mention it.
Is that kind of like Sean McAuliffe type, I will resurrect this joke 25 minutes later?
Yeah. See, so you think too little time has passed?
Yeah, I don't know. But on that, I would seriously, like, if you're happy renting commercial property, buying a medical suite somewhere, I own commercial property now. Like,
how does that work? How does that even work?
Well, you buy the office building or the suite or whatever,
and you rent it out.
And you rent it out to a business. Now, there's a few more risks involved because you might need a bigger deposit to get that property. Usually the yield or the rent that you receive for the purchase price is higher than buying a residential investment property. And there could be the trade-off for that risk. Also, don't drink fizzy drinks when you're recording. That's why I'm like,
God, I thought you were having a mild heart attack. And
I might. I'll do that later. Don't worry about that.
Okay, right, off camera.
The trade-off for risk, the return is there could be periods where there isn't a tenant in that property. So it's potentially not a bad thing if, and the question for you is that property purchase, was it with your partner? How long have you guys been together?
A year and a half. No, but it was solo.
Yeah, okay. So you guys are pretty much a year and a half in, like one would hypothesize that if you know type thing by a year and a half. Yeah. So there are future plans there to buy a property together and
I was
build
actually
wealth
leaving
together.
them tomorrow, so it's an awkward time to do the podcast.
I'll make sure we release this after you tell.
Well done. Okay, so thoughtful of you. I'll leave them tomorrow, and then I'll buy a property for myself the next day.
Yeah, sounds good. So, like, in your relationship, how does money fit in?
God, you got real bounce around, don't you? Redundancy, relationship.
I haven't had my Ritalin. I didn't have Ritalin this afternoon.
I was worried that you hadn't, and my worst nightmare has come true.
Yeah.
How does it come in? It's very equitable. Obviously, I was the higher income earner.
Obviously.
Well, not obviously.
Yeah, no,
it's not obvious.
No.
I actually presuming that you know more about our relationship. So when you look at us, he's younger than I am, and he's his first year working full time.
Yeah.
So that's where the obvious comes from.
Yeah.
But he works very, very hard. Yeah, I think we have a very equitable relationship. Works well. There's no issues with money in our relationship
Are
at
you
all.
sharing bank accounts or anything like that?
Not yet. No.
No. And if you bought a house together, would that be a flashpoint to join stuff, or have you even
I'd
talked
say
about
so.
that?
No, we haven't spoken about that yet. No, definitely not. We still have to get through our first international trip together.
Or have you done an IKEA flat pack together?
We haven't done a flat pack together yet. No,
Cheaper than an international trip to test the relationship.
It is, but I know that I'll be the prick because I get very overwhelmed and stressed, and that's not one of my strengths. Putting things together and building, it's not it. So I'll be the prick, and he'll leave me, not the other way around. You know.